Hi, and good morning. This morning, I've been meditating about a word that the Lord just brought to me the other day as we were having a conversation. And what the Lord was really communicating is that I am the God that overrides nature. Science has its place, psychology has its place, medicine has its place. All these things have their place in taking care of the issues we go through. But you know what? God can choose to override nature. He can choose to do things the way science does not anticipate, the way psychology does not anticipate. Think of the case of Gideon. The guy is going to war. He thinks that having a huge army that can win this battle for him is a thing that works. But God decides that is not how I'm going to do it. I'll do it differently. Remember somebody like Jehoshaphat, he knows that going with an army, carrying all the weapons is what works for such a war. But God decides, no, I want a team that can praise me in the beauty of holiness. Think of Naaman, that going to people who use medicine, who use whatever any other means to bring about healing. But God decides, no, I want you to go to Jordan and take is it a shower or a swim? And that way I'll heal you. He's a God who does things the way he chooses. And for you today, and as you go towards closing the year, I want to tell you that God can decide to override all those logical things you've been looking at. And he can decide to do it in such a way that it leaves no doubt in the minds of anyone who hears about it with regard that the Lord is the one who have done it. God does not leave doubts. He does not leave doubts. He decides that, yes, the Red Sea is not something that you can just close. But because you're my people, I'm going to override nature. I'm going to make a way in the Red Sea. Jordan is flooding in the times of harvest. But that is the time I want you to close. Because I don't want to leave any doubt in your mind that I'm the one who is doing it. It is now going to possess Jericho. And I know cities are not brought down by people going around those cities. Cities are not brought down by people shouting on the seventh time of the seventh day. But God chooses that is the way that he will use. My brother and my sister, I want to pray that you will surrender to God, because God is able to override nature. You're looking at your situation and trying to come up with a logical way of how things are going to work. You're looking at 2023 and thinking, how is it going to work logically? You're becoming rational. You're just trying. But when you apply faith, you leave room for God to do it his own way. You remember the time of Samaria? I think this guy who was the right-hand man of the king thought, before people plant barley or wheat and nurture that and harvest, and how can a barrel of flour tomorrow cost such or even be available? But we serve a God who overrides nature, who overrides the natural way of the way things that happen. So as you go towards, next year, believe that he is God. Sometimes he's not even limited in terms of time. There are times when we think that this can only happen within a number of days, within a number of years. But I want to submit to you, brothers and sisters, that we serve God. He is the God who is not limited by time. I have a friend of mine, he's called Hillary, and he has always told me that God does not close all his books on the 31st of December. If you're an accountant, you understand what I mean. Some of us, as we go towards the end of the year, we feel like our books are being closed, like the maths are being balanced, and what we have done so far is all that we have. But I want to tell you that the God we serve is beyond the 31st of December. The God that we serve is beyond the time that we see and time as we understand it as human beings. He can do that which humans can logically do with 10 years in a day. He can do it in a second. He is God. Surrender to him. He can override nature. And one of the things he will do is that he'll always leave a testimony that he is the one who did it. He told the children of Israel, as you go into Jericho, know this, I am the one. I am the one. Please, he is the one. Rely on him. Depend on him. Trust in him. He is able to do that which leaves no doubt about who did it. He is God. God bless you.